Good morning from the deep forests of NorCal. Rained a little bit on us last night in typical fashion out here. And we all had a double dinner, just sat around and listened to Christmas music. Don't ask me why, but it was really nice. And we were just so happy to be done with the snow. So team morale was boosted last night for sure. Everyone was having a good time, myself included. Now we are kind of just walking in this low elevation forest stuff, which is beautiful and dry ground. I'll never complain again. I know I've said that. If you go watch me getting out of San Jacinto, I say the same thing because my thoughts haven't changed. I love dry ground. Snow is tough. But we're going into Dunsmuir. We have about a 22 and a half today. It's really weird because if you actually look at far out, which is what everyone uses to navigate now as a through hiker, they actually have an alternate posted that skips over the PCT, the actual trail. And we were trying to figure it out at camp last night, but it looks like we thought it was the old trail because there was the old PCT. Now there's a new PCT, and we couldn't tell the difference at first, but when you actually look, it seems that far out is actually skipping the PCT. So we are going to add on about 3.5 miles to do the real PCT, which is no big deal. And apparently it's supposed to be an awesome view of Shasta, which I've already gotten, but I could definitely use more of because those volcano mountains are they're way different. They're so big, they take up the whole horizon. Their cone shape is just so unique, and seeing them never gets old for me. So we're gonna do that. 22 and a half today, and 15 into Dunsmuir tomorrow. And I'll pick up my box, resupply, and then I'll let you all know the new plan from there. Might come as kind of a shock, but I'm actually really excited for it. I think when we talked about it and we thought about it, I'm really excited. So not to leave you on a cliff there, we just need to do some more research, and before I tell you, oh, we're doing X, Y, and Z, and then we're not. So that will come soon, but I'm just gonna keep enjoying this very lush and amazing forest. And then this is kind of a side note, but I looked at my beard. I looked at a picture of me on the border of Mexico and then what I look like today. And I am actually going to look full-fledged homeless by the end of this hike. But I committed to that. So kind of just a funny side note there, but look at these giants. So cool, so peaceful. Well, that's all, y'all. Once again, a scrabbled morning rant, but nonetheless, that is the plan for today, and that's what we're doing. So as always, I will see you down the trail.
Genetically modified a Venus flytrap suck, and I named it the Venus flytrap. Yeah, I don't know. Like 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, okay. I just finished my ravioli, so. Nice.
Yo, I know I haven't dropped in today, but it's kind of just a chill day. Just kind of meandered around and then realized, whoa, we're at 18 miles. And then we stopped at this really cool bridge down here, this swimming spot, and cooked dinner because the campsite is dry tonight and we had to all cook stuff and it was kind of messy. So it just made more sense to stop there and cook, clean our dishes, and then head on up this climb here to the campsite tonight. So I think it's gonna end up being 23 and a half instead of 22 and a half because there's a better site just a mile from where we were planning. And it's only 6 right now. So we have 2.5 hours of daylight to meander our way there. So the announcement is, I think we are going Sobo. I know, never trust a Sobo, but I think we're gonna do it because we have looked at post-holer and it just, once again, doesn't really make sense because the Three Sisters Wilderness is completely covered in snow, more packed than the Sierra currently. By the time you watch this, I'm not sure if this will all be the exact same data, but as of June 11th. And Oregon is kind of completely covered in snow too, so Washington is actually almost to the point of a low snow year in 2005 that it was by July 1st. So what that tells us is that if we could get to Washington and go south, things will be looking to line up pretty well. And especially with Washington being so dry this year, kind of puts it at a high risk for fires. Once again, I never wish that upon any state or county or nation, but it's a precaution on this trail. So that's where our mind's at. And I think it's a very solid plan. And honestly, I think this is just the PCT. I think if you really want to finish, I think only 14% of people finish every year. And I'm starting to understand why, because honestly, sometimes it's not even in your control. If a fire strikes and closes down the trail or snow, whatever happens, you just can't control stuff out here. I think the PCT has the shortest weather window of any of the big 3 trails. I know that's a bold claim, but that's just what I feel like. I feel like you have to have kind of like a 4 month completion goal, because if you don't, something's gonna strike before you get the chance to finish. So I could be being paranoid, I understand that, but that's kind of the big announcement. That's what we were thinking. That's where our minds are at. So when we get to Dunsmuir, I'll keep you posted on that. But for now, I want to get to camp before I probably get stormed on again for the 4th time in a row in NorCal. So I will talk to you all mañana as I'm getting some town food in Dunsmuir. Oh, it's getting spooky. But that's the plan. That's the big announcement. Don't hold your breath. All right, y'all. See you to mañana. Well, that was unexpected. I was walking up the trail and bullets were just flying everywhere. And I thought I was back in Iraq. But lo and behold, I was on the PCT. There's a guy down there and he's got like a fully automatic Glock 19, which I didn't even know was possible. I've had a Glock 19 myself, and they definitely aren't supposed to do that. But he was kind enough to cease fire as I walked out of the trail. So thank you, kind sir, because that would have been bad. There's your surprise of the day, everybody. There's your surprise. Oh, and before I was worried about dodging bullets, I almost forgot another eventful thing of the day. We passed mile 900, miles hiked northbound. So that's cool. Almost at 1,000. Kind of feels not as cool. Like that 1,000 will feel really, really awesome. But 900 is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm adding that in there. Okay. Let's keep climbing.